Okay, so I was given a very challenging job. I only have 5 minutes to run up this section. Okay, let's move on quickly. We mentioned about this term, innovation, many times. But somehow I think we haven't looked at this carefully. So what exactly is innovation, and how would it fit into this big picture of moving research into commercialization at the end? I think Harry used a very good example, like using this low airspace economy. Perhaps I'd like to start by asking Harry to share with us a bit about this concept of innovation. And then I would like to ask the other speakers to bring us their wisdom.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. Innovation is a big word, and from my personal experience, I worked as a research in the industry research lab, and I did some research with students in university. But most of my experience is actually really in the industry setting, how to move the technology into products. And with the innovation, actually, we do create something that our customers would like. I would say, when we talk about innovation, it's no longer really just some kind of just curiosity-driven science discovery, more and more to the real practical things that we can actually take to the market. That's just my personal learning.
Very good. Michael, you want to share with us your view?
I think innovation covers, very broad. I think probably the broadest sense, from academic perspective, it's like new discovery. When we do the basic research, we discovered how the mechanisms underneath the nature. And for engineers, they have some ideas and they make some invention. So this is innovation. For our artists, they create new things, new art forms. So the business people thinking about new business models. So I think all this are encompassed under this innovation. So I think it's a matter nowadays how to all these work together to create some synergism, integrate them together.
Great. David?
Thank you. I think what we're lacking is a definition of innovation. And we maybe all have our own, but mine is innovation is a problem that you have to solve and you don't know how to solve it using conventional means or means you have available. And to innovate is to work around a problem or to think of a unique solution. And you do that by consulting as many people who you can that may be able to contribute to that solution. So it could be innovating to solve a problem that you have that is urgent. So the Millennium Bridge in the UK, it was built, there was a resonance, a vibration, not workable. Innovation was new dampers that nobody had ever delivered before. That's one form of innovation. A new innovation could be disruptive. GPT, which we've seen this week. That is an extremely impressive form of innovation. That addresses a problem that none of us knew we had. But now we know we've got it, so we need more innovation to tackle the problems that innovation generated. So I think it's important to understand what we mean by innovation, because until we do that, we can't work out who we should involve in formulating solutions.
Thank you. Peter, you want to say a few words?
Yes, I think I agree. With all the opinion just now. I would say, innovation is definitely, doing something differently in solving a practical problem, and I would add to that to generate also economic benefits. And innovation, sometimes we focus very much on technology, innovation or integration, but there are also very importantly, or a lot of the very practical innovation are business model innovation. So doing things or addressing the same problem with a twist, in the business model. So that are the points that I would like to add.
I remember in George Harrah's talk this morning, he mentioned that innovation is the element that can help these startups company to beat all the big giants. So I think this is why I think we keep mentioning this. And then the next important issue that I'm thinking of is we are promoting all these research to entrepreneurship ecosystem. I think the government is also working closely with all university and other organizations in Hong Kong to work on that. How to encourage talents, all these young talents, to go into this area, especially we realize that we don't have too many top-notch students who are interested in going to engineering or science-related subjects in Hong Kong. I think David mentioned that in the UK, you are encountering the same issue. Yep. Any views from any of you to share with us?
Well, we can start by paying technologists and engineers better. I mean, at Cambridge, it depresses me that some of our best scientists gravitate to the city because they can earn 3 times the salary. So if you've got a great mind, then you're useful to a wide range of industry. Some countries seem to get it right, Germany, for example, whereas I think, although engineers' salaries and scientists' salaries are improving, I think they need to improve at a greater rate. So we need to be more financially competitive and less taken for granted, actually, I think.
Michael, you want to say a few words?
I think there's 2 aspects. One is, I think, for the young people, I mean, when they have the creative idea, they have something, you have to provide a platform, some opportunity for them to try. So many of them is not because they don't want to get into, because they don't know how to get into, and they don't have the necessary support to take the first step. So I think an ecosystem to help them to take the first step, to venture beyond the traditional path is important. And the second is that we need to have some role models, some successful examples. And now we have seen many over the years, but in Hong Kong also we have started seeing many unicorns and many successful young entrepreneurs. So these are actually setting the example for them.
Well, I just add one thing, and I particularly liked Professor Caldwell's point of view that, let's be realistic, that, with all our young kids kind of graduating, they don't have to go out just to try the failure too quickly. As you know, it's going to be a failure 99% of the time doing a startup. It's actually interesting to know that, there's some kind of statistical study says that the optimal time to start your own startup is actually more like 28 to 29 years old. When you're somewhat older, have more experience, and you understand how to build a team, do all those things. So this just that there needs to be a balance there, because the innovation really has different levels. There's a technology innovation, there's a product level innovation, and there's a business level innovation. So that's my view.
Wonderful. Peter?
Yes, to me, I think attracting them, the essence is really providing opportunities to fulfill their dreams. Yeah. At Cyberport, we have many companies that do not just look at the return in terms of generating, profit or whatever in a relatively short period of time, but quite a number of them, for example, those into ESG, into green tech, into social innovation, are actually trying to set themselves up to see how they can, make use of the technology and through innovation to fulfill their dreams. And what we focus on doing, with the presentation I just mentioned, is really giving them opportunities. We try to, generate more opportunities. Personally, this is just, my personal opinion that now we have seen students, graduating from university, instead of really finding a very, lucrative jobs or in a high-flying companies, they actually prefer to explore life, to experience, different things for a few years before they focus on what kinds of companies or industry they want to join, to understand themselves. Now, to me, entrepreneurship is actually one of these experiences. It's a life experience that I encourage actually, young people to also try to do that while actually you have relatively low opportunity cost to fail. And in a way, there is no failure. It is not the sort of a failure in the general sense of not becoming a unicorn or very important, companies, but actually, even if you do not achieve the expected return, of your investors or whatever, you have gone through a very important life experience that equip you with a lot of skills for your future success. So it's part of the training.
Very good. I think we have to move to the final part of this Q&A session. Let's see if we have one or two quick questions from the floor before I wrap it up. I have one question here. In fact, is for Harry. It's so will the promotion of low air economy continue to worsen our global challenges, such as climate crisis? Will it affect our well-being?
That's really a good question, and I think it depends on what kind of technologies we can actually really develop. As we speak now, I think I give an example, like there's a term called the eVTOL, electrical vertical taking off and the landing. The kind of new drones is all electrical. So in a way that it's more green tech than many other things. Like today, what we have is a helicopter, traditional engines powered. So those things are, on the positive side. On the negative side, as we have more and more flying objects out there, and it will inevitably create, some disturbance to the current environment we have, even including, birds and other things. So I think it's yet to be seen and to be studied, and as we continue to push this forward. And we need to be more thoughtful because we can afford to be more thoughtful as we have this opportunity to design carefully from the get-go.
Very good. So any questions from the floor? The very last one before we end this discussion and Q&A section.
So thank you for the speakers today. It's very meaningful. And I have a question in mind. After the COVID crisis, I want to ask, what type of future we envisage for Hong Kong and the world? And how could this R&D and also this innovation entrepreneurship bring about a change in the life of, not just livelihood, but also the life of those younger generation in Hong Kong and beyond? Thank you.
David?
Thank you for that. So just a simple question. So I think there's some very positive messages that have come out of COVID. COVID itself was horrible, but universities have been forced into a different way of teaching and learning and evaluation. ChatGPT has kind of come at probably just the right time, given that we're looking at our methods of examination. I think there are huge benefits in moving to hybrid conferences, for example, where people meet in person but also participate in line. We've already seen attendances booming. So this gives us the opportunity, I think, for people to work together much more closely, to kind of develop infrastructures and networks that we didn't before, and we have to take that. The downside is that people will still be reluctant to travel. There'll be an inbuilt resistance. I mean, I flew here by Cathay Pacific and the cost of the flight was ridiculous. So until the world recovers itself from an economic basis and we get back to traveling, I think we've got a period where we can continue to learn. But I think our aim has to be to make the future better than the past in terms of our effectiveness using technology. And the people who will benefit will be young people. And as we've heard many times, they're the future. It's not us. So we need to enable those young people. I'd also like to see a result of COVID promoting women in science and technology. People can easily contribute more easily now than they could. And also, to kind of iron out some of the racial inequalities that we see. So that's a lot, but I think we have an opportunity. We have to take it. That's a good question.
Thank you very much. I think because of the limitation of time, I think I have to wrap up our discussion here. I think we are here to establish a platform so that our young generation, ourselves, can all make good use of it to fulfill our dreams that Peter mentioned. And in the process, I think innovation is playing a core role. Even though we are from the engineering or technology sector, as Harry mentioned, I think innovation does not only cover the technological aspect. It involves many other things. And Michael, under his leadership, the CTU program has been helping a lot of young people to fulfill their dreams. I think my wish is that we should be all working together, break down the walls or boundary between countries and between university and achieve the goodwill together. Thank you very much.
Thank you.